It's Monday, the 1st of August 2022. Welcome to the Fast Five by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
Sean, 5 stories in 5 minutes, so let's jump into it. Story number 1, global share markets have rebounded sharply over the past 6 weeks, with the new financial year starting pretty strongly for the local ASX. But analysts are warning that more falls may still be in the pipeline.
The economic woes of the world, inflation, rising interest rates, big government debts, have pretty much been overshadowed by a pretty strong performance in share markets. Now, locally, the S&P ASX 200 was up nearly 6% in July. It's up 8% from its mid-June low. The S&P 500 on Wall Street's up about 10% from its lows. Nasdaq, the tech-heavy Nasdaq's up 16%. In Europe, the Stoxx Europe 600, which measures the 600 largest companies in the region, is up close to 10% from its lows. Quite incredible. There's just more confidence about the global economy and the local economy here, weathering the rising inflation and interest rate environment just a bit better. You can see that in the bond market. In the past few weeks, all the action there suggests interest rates might not rise by quite as much as expected. Earnings season in the US has been really, really good. The confidence is slightly ironic given how quickly central banks are lifting interest rates at the moment. The Reserve Bank of Australia is likely to lift the official cash rate by another 50 basis points tomorrow. But the fact that central banks are acting so quickly is giving confidence to investors.
All right, on to story number 2, Sean. And Prime Minister Anthony Albanese was in northeast Arnhem Land over the weekend and unveiled the proposed question for a referendum on the introduction of an Indigenous voice to Parliament.
Mr Albanese emphasised it was a simple question, easily understood. It is, do you support an alteration to the Constitution that establishes an Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander voice? Details of the voice will then be worked out following consultation. A little bit trust me on this one. The Prime Minister said it was important to have a constitutionally enshrined voice to ensure policies involving Indigenous people worked with their best interests in mind. The timing of the referendum is still unknown. It's expected next year.
Okay, story number 3 today, Sean. Not everything is dire in the housing market, with sales at the top end in particular not always suffering, but undoubtedly there is less stock going up for sale now.
Yes, around 1/4 of Sydney vendors are pulling out of the auction market as clearance rates fall, according to CoreLogic. That's nearly double the normal rate, but anecdotally some more expensive houses are still selling. Overall, Sydney recorded a preliminary clearance rate over the weekend of 56%. That's where it's been for a couple of weeks now. Melbourne was better at 61%. Adelaide continues to top the league tables. It was at 80%. Canberra 54%. Brisbane, it has really fallen in the last few weeks. It was down to 46% on the weekend, and Perth at 44%.
All right, story number 4. I think we'll kind of combine a couple of stories into one here, Sean, under the category of interesting things that have happened as a consequence of COVID. The first one is a merger in the armoured vehicle world.
Yes, Linfox Armourguard and Prosegur Australia, the two biggest distributors of banknotes to branches and automatic teller machines, have agreed to merge. Why? Because people don't use cash as much, and so deliveries are lower. The Reserve Bank last year said consolidation in the industry might have to occur. Of course, it still needs to get through the competition regulator, but one of those consequences of COVID, as you mentioned.
And the other one was all about the instant hot and chilled water taps that, I mean, we've seen them in offices for a while, but now they're popping up in homes.
Yes, apparently about 70% of offices have them, but people during COVID missed them and started installing them in their homes. The group that installs them is called Zipwater. It is booming here and in the US, and people are installing these hot and cold water taps. It's the latest things when renovating.
And of course, you are renovating at the moment, aren't you, Sean?
Yeah, what do you think we know about that story?
That's possibly driven by self-interest. Final story today, story number 5. Oil giants ExxonMobil and Chevron have announced record profits, and these are seriously big profits for the June quarter, thanks to surging prices.
Someone is winning from the energy crisis, and it's the big oil and gas guys. Exxon made a June quarter profit of $18 billion, with a B, $18 billion US dollars. Chevron made almost $12 billion. Late last week, Shell reported record earnings of $11.5 billion US dollars, and France's Total Energies made almost $10 billion US dollars. That was about triple what it made 12 months earlier. For the quarter, those four companies, ExxonMobil, Chevron, Shell, and Total Energies, made more than $50 billion US dollars in profit. Not much more to say on that one, Michael.
No, that's pretty incredible. There we go. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It's Monday, the 1st of August, 2022. Remember to hit follow on the podcast. And if 5 minutes isn't enough for you, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.